Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Texas City Garden. My name is Jared. This episode, we'll be talking about how to harvest okra, when to harvest it, and what it's going to look like when you do harvest it. So, okra, it likes temperatures anywhere from 75 to 90 degrees. So, it's a warm weather crop. So, you're going to plant it usually at the beginning of the summertime. And you're going to need probably about 4 months of warm weather in the 75 to 90 degree temperatures. And at the 2 month mark after planting it is when you're going to start seeing the flowers come on. Once the flowers come on, then the flowers turn into a pod, and those are the okra that you're going to harvest. And so you want to harvest them when they're about 3 to 4 inches long. And if you wait too long, then they'll get big and they can be kind of hard and fibrous, and they're really not as appetizing. So you want to make sure that you're diligent about going out there every couple days once this do start producing. Once you start seeing the flowers, and they'll produce for a good 2 months. Like right now, it's November. I started harvesting this okra behind me back in September, and now it's getting cool enough to where it's kind of stopped growing right now. But let me show you the okra back here, and I'll show you what is a good one to harvest and when it is gone a little too far. Okay, so when we come out to the garden, it's going to be when the okra grows up, it's going to start producing, and as you go, it's going to grow at the top. So you're not going to have any okra down at the bottom. It's always going to be growing up, and as you harvest it, it'll keep going up, up, up. And okra can get really tall. Like I have some that is probably 7 feet tall plus, because it's taller than me. I'm 6 feet tall. But the okra, so if we come here and look at this one right here, it's probably about 3 inches long, and if you feel it, it's kind of spongy, which is a good sign. So that's going to be nice tender okra. This one right here is probably 4, maybe a little bit more than that inches. It's a little more hard, so you just kind of have to use your judgment whether you want to use it or not. But the bigger it is, the more fibrous and the harder it is. And now you might be able to still use it in soups and stuff like that. But if you're gonna cook it any other way, it's probably not worth it on some of these. This one's borderline. This one right here is really hard. I probably don't even want to harvest this one. This one's probably just gonna go ahead and go into the compost pile for me. Uh, it just depends on, like I said, what you want to use it for. So as far as harvesting them goes, you can either come and break them off like this, which is I don't really like to do. So just tear them off like that. And you see this one is really tough and fibrous. So or I like to use scissors. You come in here, just cut it off. And as you can tell, this one is really spongy. So it's a perfect one right there. Maybe a little bit bigger than this would be good, but you don't want it too much bigger. And there's different varieties too. So depending upon the variety, they can get bigger without being as fibrous. Depends on which variety you have. I have some burgundy okra over here. It's a different color. We can go look at that, and I'll show you. Um, it's a more narrow type of okra. So let's go look at that. So if we come over here, we can see that we got the burgundy okra, and most of this burgundy okra I've kind of neglected, so it's gotten kind of big, and it's generally going to be skinnier. This particular variety is skinnier than the green. Um, so like if I feel this one, it's kind of hard. So you could use this in like a gumbo or something like that. But if you want to cook it like roast or something like that, I would not recommend using this unless this one's a little bit over, probably over 4 inches. But you can really tell by just squeezing on it and telling how fibrous it is. So I could probably harvest this one, use it in a gumbo or a soup. Now there's one down here that I cut earlier. It is a little bit smaller, and as I squeeze it, it has a little bit of give to it. It's a little more spongy. So this one would be good for maybe roasting, or if you want to do something, you can put it in a gumbo, but or a soup. But it's pretty much you can use it for anything. Um, so yeah, it just depends on the variety of okra that you're growing, and but a lot of it has to do with, you look at the length, 3 to 4 inches ideally, and the sponginess. You can really tell just by barely squeezing it. You can tell if it's spongy or going to be fibrous and hard. Well, there you have it, guys. That's all I have for you today. That's pretty much the way I harvest okra, the parameters I use to harvest okra. And remember, it's going to take about 2 months before you can actually start harvesting. So it's going to grow until about 2 months. You'll see those flowers set on, and then you'll see the pods come on, and that's when you go and harvest them. And you probably need to check them every other day, at least every other day, if not every day, because they will get too big, and if they get too big, they're going to be too fibrous for you to use for a lot of things. So until next time, God bless and have a good day.